Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Grounded. So, if you haven't heard, it's this new game that came out. It's about being shrunk as a teenager, and you're in this backyard. Very similar to the old '90s movie, I believe, maybe '80s. I think '90s, where you, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. Anyways, it just came out recently, this past Tuesday, September 27th, and it's been out in early access for a couple years now. As you guys know, we've done a ton of Grounded coverage on the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. These are going to be everything you need to know about Grounded and its full release without any spoilers. So I'm going to try to do as little spoilers as possible. We're going to show you some things. We're going to talk about some things, but you should be able to jump into the game without having any knowledge of what's actually coming, but have an idea of what's coming, if that makes sense. So the first one is going to be, obviously we have a whole new area. We have a whole new backyard, right? This whole area over here, all of this, everything that was already in the game, pretty much got a little bit of updates here and there. There's new additions in the entire yard. So the biggest thing is obviously with full release, we've got this whole upper northeast area of the yard, right? Above ground and possibly underground. Another thing, obviously, if you guys checked it out too, we do have a map, the map, obviously, and the map has actually got a little update too. So it kind of shows you, we know it shows the resources if you have the resource surveyor here, but it's just more clean. It looks cleaner. It has a better look to it, if you know what I mean. It has a better feel. Everything's kind of lined out a lot better between where the stones are, where the water is, where the shed, and whatever is going on up here and everything like that. The haze, you can see, is this big green area right here that is affected now, which is interesting because I didn't think the haze went over this far, but apparently it's showing that it's over here right next to the sandbox. So, all right, let's check it out. So one of the major things that I think the game has kind of gone back and forth with is how to upgrade your weapons and armor, right? So we've had quartzite for God knows how long in early access. Well, that got replaced with our rad fashion nugget, or our fashion nuggets, and our tough, or our was it fashion and cool? I don't remember. Either way, they were really different upgrade resources used, and the community kind of bit back on that and didn't like it very much. Ooh, piece of candy. So they went back after getting rid of quartzite and brought quartzite back. So now you have quartzite to upgrade all your weapons, but you also have marble to upgrade all your armor. So the marble is going to look similar to like a bluish hue, kind of like the blue rocks you see in a fish tank. And then the quartzite's kind of have a reddish hue. So like red for your weapons and blue for your armor. So you're going to find these all over the map. And that's another thing. They have added a ton of these upgrade resources all over. You'll find single pieces just laying around on the ground in certain areas, near the labs, ant hills, and areas where you're typically going to find some of the progress areas. What's up, B? And you're also going to find nodes of it. So you'll have brittle, which is tier 1 basically, and then sturdy, which is tier 2, and then you'll have supreme, which is tier 3. So for the tier 2, you are going to need the tier 2 insect axe, and for tier 3, you're going to need the insect hammer for tier 2, black ox hammer for tier 3 to break those open. And every time you open a tier 3 nugget, you'll get 3 of the tier 3 resource, 3 of the tier 2, as well as 3 of the tier 1. So you'll get 9 total pieces from a supreme nugget, if you will, or quartzite or marble, and then you'll get 6 from a tier 2. So you'll get 3 of the supreme, 3 of the sturdy, and then 3 of the brittle, and then same thing for tier 2, which is the sturdy. You'll get 3 of the sturdy and then 3 of the brittle, which is pretty cool. You're never gonna have you really shouldn't ever run out of the upgrade resources unless you're literally trying to upgrade every weapon, every piece of weapon, every armor, and every piece of, you know what I mean, every piece of armor and every weapon in the game. With that being said, I do believe that the majority of the resources that you find in the map are going to be finite, but there is a recipe that you can unlock at a certain point in the game. Again, I'm not going to tell you when to craft those recipes, and they're going to require certain insect resources and stuff like that, and certain farmable resources that you can get around the map as well. So I will say again, just one more thing, get your sap as much as you can. Sap is still going to be an integral part of the game as a resource overall. It's used in a lot of the different resources, and you're definitely going to want as much of that as you can get. So let's go ahead and look at another one. So everybody loves the scabs, right? So there are actually new scabs in the game. They're going to be, again, scattered out everywhere around the map. You can find them, as well as new milk molars. New milk molars have been added to the game. I don't know how many there are total, and again, I'm not going to spoil that for you. But speaking on milk molars, so they not only added new ones, but when you reload into the game, whether you're starting fresh or if you reload into an old save, your story progress is going to be reset again. Okay, not a big deal because, like I said, they've added new stuff to the old areas. So you're going to want to go back to those areas anyway to get that new resources and some other potential stuff that we'll talk about here in a minute. On top of that, yeah, the molars are respect too. So all your molars, when you jump into the game, if it's a previous game, all of your molar progress will be reset. So you'll have to go back to Burgle. You'll have to accomplish certain things early in the game. Go talk to Burgle, and then you can actually go ahead and use all those molars. So maybe you made mistakes earlier in the game where you're like, man, I wish I would have spent these molars here instead of there. You can actually go back. All the molars you have are going to stay with you. Go ahead and respend them. Another thing, with that being said, there are new items in the game, and I'm not talking just about weapons and armor. We know we're going to get new weapons and armor. That was a given, right? We've had trailers, we've had sneak peeks of new intros and cutscenes and all that stuff, and we're going to talk about all this. I'm super excited. That's why I'm kind of jumping around here. But on top of that, we also have new items, and they're going to go in your glider slot, which used to be your glider slot. Over here, you can see it's now labeled as accessory slot. So no spoiler there, but there are now accessories in the game which are going to grant you buffs and maybe debuffs that can help you out through the game. So it's going to bring you that unique capability to customize your character even more so. You know, if you're a fan of the channel, you've been around with me for a while, we did class build videos a while ago to where we were trying to basically build specific classes kind of along the lines of like an MMORPG or something like that, to where you'd have like your tank class, you know, your fighter, you would have your DPS like your ranger or your assassin, something like that, and then you would have your healer class and stuff like that. You can now do that a heck of a lot more with full release. Now, they did say that this was going to be the biggest update, and I don't know if you consider it an update because, yes, the game is updated, but it's also a full release. So they did say that with full release, we're going to have the most new insects, the most new weapons, the most new armors, the most new resources, the most new changes, the most new everything, right? So that's going to be a huge thing for you to be able to better customize not only your character in solo play, but a lot of you guys that play multiplayer, especially with shared worlds now being a thing, you can actually customize your character a lot more. Now, one caveat to that is I do believe these accessories, most of the ones that you actually find in certain areas are going to only be one per world. There are other ones that are going to be drops from resources and insects and stuff like that that can actually be gathered more than one. But some of them are going to be, as of right now, as of recording this, they're only one per world. So keep that in mind when you are getting these accessories and building up your multiplayer group, I guess, so to say, that you give the appropriate accessories to the appropriate characters, depending upon the situation that you guys find yourself in. All right, let's go ahead and look at another one. So maybe you guys can't tell it just from the video, but when you jump into the game, you're going to notice a significant improvement in the overall quality of the game. Now, the graphics have improved immensely. And if you can see that right here, we'll go ahead and jump down here. Check this out. You see the jump animation has also changed. Why? I don't know. Does it look better? Yeah, it does. You don't just have that stale robot jump where the arms completely stay up. So little things like that have also been added, along with a lot of the major changes. Fans of Reggie. Reggie's still with us. All right, so let's go ahead and look at another one. One other thing that you'll notice if you're a veteran player that has played for a while is you're going to see when you go to your boxes here. Let's go ahead and check this out. So you're going to see increased stack sizes. So we know that we've talked about inventory management, inventory slot sizes, backpack sizes, the items in our hotbar not taking up item or space in our inventory and stuff like that. What they have done is kind of a happy medium. They've increased all the stack sizes free of charge. So that's not with your milk molar expenditures. You're going to increase them with the milk molars, but your stack sizes are going to increase right when you jump into the game, which is super nice. So from your food, your drink, your insect resources, your smoothies, your farmable resources and everything, all of that is going to be different and increased, which makes it a lot easier for the amount of resources you're going to need for everything that we're doing in the game now. So we talked about the overall improvement of the game, the quality. With that being said, there might be a caveat to that. If you're running on console, or if you're running on maybe a back-end PC, you may have to adjust the quality settings for play just to enable the graphics to be better quality. You don't want to be jumping in there and having it crash every few minutes because the graphical quality is too high, as opposed to where it can be just right, depending on your computer or your console, whether it be Xbox One or an older model. All right, let's go ahead and jump to another one. We've got a few more, I think, here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. All right, one more thing was a lot of people put out videos saying that the creature cards were going to be reset, and that's for good reason. I do believe that they said they were going to reset the creature card progress that you had. Well, that's not the case. So you don't have to re-peep all the insects that you've already peeped. Your peepers are safe and sound. Your gold cards and everything that you got from early access are safe and sound. And if you're not familiar with it, if you're new to the game, you're going to go ahead and use your peeper button to peep every insect you come across. It's going to give you information, you know, such as weaknesses or resistances. So, all right, let's check out another one. All right, some of the other things you're going to notice when you jump in is there are new achievements. There are 9 new total achievements. So for you 100%ers out there that want to complete everything, you're going to have 9 new achievements to get. Some of them are locked. You might not be able to see them. And then some of them will be something that maybe you're already working towards on top of that as well. You're also going to have new cutscenes in the game, which kind of provide a lot of story and depth. You'll notice it kind of randomly just from the progress that I've made. I don't see it as being anything like after you complete a certain step that you're going to get a cutscene. It kind of just depends, kind of happens randomly when you're sleeping. It's going to give you more information and backstory. With that being said, we also have more audio logs, more notes, and with those chips and everything, you'll see, we're going to go here and just, you're going to see a lot of this has a lot of new information. And like I said before about going back to the older areas, you're going to notice some little, I guess you could call them Easter eggs that add to the story that kind of goes along with why we're here, where's Dr. Tully, what's going on with Burgle, what's going on with Amon and Practical Technologies, and kind of puts everything together piece by piece as you're going through the labs and as you're going into these different areas. You're going to see pictures, you can double check the whiteboards, you're going to find these new notes, you're going to find these new audio logs, that everything put together is going to give you a better grasp on what's going on with the story. All right, a few more things here. So there are obviously new mixers. If you played the game before, you know that you have mixers in the game. There are new mixers added, which are going to bring about new insects and new different combinations of insects to fight. Along with that, there's also a new way to achieve getting the spicy coltana, and I think you're going to find it very interesting. If you've already gotten it, you're going to do yourself a definite favor to go back and try it again. If you haven't gotten it already, sorry that you didn't have it the easy way. But now it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get the spicy coltana, so it's not just handed to you this time, so be on the lookout for that. And one of the major things that I think we're going to talk about, we'll get to in a sec, is going to be raids are reset again. So with the story progression, your raids are reset. So your first raid is going to be reset. It's probably just going to be a few insects. Once you annoy enough of them, you're probably going to only have like 2 insects coming to bother you. And then after that, they're going to progressively get harder as you start annoying more insects. And the biggest, last but not least, thing you need to know about New Grounded is that everybody will have a report card upon completion of the game. Now that full release is out, there is an ending to the game, so you can beat it. So speedrunners rejoice, there's a final ending to the game. But you're going to get a report card. Now that report card is going to be based on a lot of different things. And the majority of the things right now that I'm going to talk about are just theories that I think that are going to be added to the report card. Some people might know this already. But maybe how many times you died, how many audio logs you got, did you get all the chips, did you get all the auxiliary chips, did you get all the notebooks, did you get all of that, did you defeat all the insects, did you peep all the insects and stuff like that. So you're going to have a report card at the end, and I think it's based on 100% completion. So did you get all the achievements and stuff like that? Who knows, but that's basically everything that I think you guys need to know about Grounded. So get out there, enjoy the game. I'm trying to keep it spoiler free so that way you guys can enjoy the game without all these people throwing everything out there right in your face. When you go and open YouTube, you don't want just spoilers thrown in your face. Maybe you want some information and you don't want to get spoiled. So that's what this video is for. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks again for watching, everybody. If you liked that video, go ahead and check out one of these videos right here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.